I've got another guest, and he's been bashing away at the boxing business for what seems like an eternity. He's been at the very top with Lennox Lewis and at the very bottom with one or two other fighters. And don't worry, he knows what he's talking about. He's got a fantastic heavyweight at the moment called David Price, but heavyweight boxing can be confusing, to say the least. And he did, I know he saw last weekend, I've heard him talk about it. Now, before we talk a bit about last weekend, I want to get an update on the David Price, Tyson Fury, Sam Sexton, Marty Rogan. I'm getting a headache. Frank Maloney, welcome to the show.
Well, Steve, the only fight I want to do is that MP last night with Chisora and Sex and Hay all in the same room.
Oh, tell you what, it was outrageous, that stuff last night, wasn't it? Absolutely outrageous.
You know what? It's not even making the newspapers. You get two boxers have a little fight and they're paid to have a fight and everyone's screaming. You get two MPs who are supposed to be pillars of society and it's brushed under the carpet. I
think they were having a row because they stopped selling that beer with the naked woman on it called Top Totty. You know that, don't you? They used to sell a beer in that bar that they've now banned, and it was called Top Totty. On the front cover was a blonde woman with her bazookas out.
In the Houses of Parliament, I can assure you, there might be a few bottom toppies, but never mind top.
Easy. Now, Frank, listen, I'm going to ask you about next weekend. I've got Errol Christie in. I want you to...
All right, mate. Nice to hear your voice, mate.
I hear you're in my area doing boxing lessons in around the Mottingham area.
I've been doing some. I think you need to come and coach me.
Yeah.
Frank, what's the latest? And I'm as disappointed as all boxing fans with the British Heavyweight Championship. David Price definitely will not be fighting Tyson Fury in the next few months. Correct?
You know, Fury relinquished his titles. And I will go online and say yes, we was offered £100,000 by.
Mick
Hennessy, but you know, my job as a promoter manager is to assess the situation, and I know my own bid alone would have given my fighter more than 100,000. Yeah. I also hear rumours that there was a £400,000 bid put in there, so that would 60% of 400,000 is more than 100,000, and it also would have been the biggest payday Tyson Fury would have. It would have been in excess of over 200 grand. So. Not only has he decided to fight a 41-year-old taxi driver who hasn't fought for nearly 18 months in Martin Rogan, I think he's turned down his biggest payday. And I really think, because of what he's done, and you know, like me, Steve, you know the history of boxing, fights that never happen when they should happen, never happen at all. You know, someone will get beat before we get these two in the ring together, so it's a missed opportunity for the British public. You know, listen, if Frank Warren, I believe, had put a bid in, or Andy Ayling Promotions, and they won it, and we had to go on Box Nation, we would have gone. Why is the fighters worried about what television station they go on? They go where the biggest money is paid. That's what the boxing business is all about.
Yeah, listen, that is the way it should work. So what's happening now with David? Where does he go? Who does he get? Right,
we are fighting Sam Sexton on May the 19th. We announced the date yesterday. We're just tying up the venue at the moment. We hope to announce a really nice venue. We're just sort of sorting it out with the site. We hope to announce that next week, and tickets will be on sale. It will be for the British and Commonwealth title.
Both, yeah.
The theme is called Real Men Fight, Others Talk.
Real Men Fight, Others talk. Okay, Frank, let's talk a bit about last weekend. I'm not sure when you watched it. Maybe on YouTube in the middle of the night or in the morning.
No, I watched it on... I was watching you, Steve. I think you're putting a bit of weight on.
It was the camera angle. Frank, it was time out. It was the camera angle.
All right, I'll give you one. I've heard the camera puts an extra £10 on you.
There we go. Easy. There's no need for that. So, Frank, when you saw the press conference, and as soon as you saw Hay at the back heckling, tell me what went through your mind in that second. We're talking here about 5 minutes before what happened. What went through your mind?
Be truthful. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the fight. I didn't know anything about the incident till the next morning. Yeah. I got up and I was put on the internet, and I saw Adam Booth got injured. I saw Punch Up, and I thought, what's this? And then I put Sky News on as I was going through Box Rec, and there was a link to it, and it all came on, and I was watching it on the internet and watching it on Sky News at the same time.
You must have been, well, I mean, you can't help but be shocked and appalled.
Well, I think I was more shocked. I don't know if I was appalled.
No,
I was more shocked. I was more shocked that David Hay, a former world champion of two weight divisions, and supposed to be a role model, got himself involved in that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know, Chisora, I think the people who handled Chisora should have realised what would have happened if he came down off that stage, because let's be truthful, he is a little bit hot-headed and a bit quick off the thing. As I said, the behaviour before the fight, at the weigh-in and then in the ring just before the fight, should give you an indication that this guy is not all the ticket, you know, very explosive and could explode. And I feel he should have been kept on the top table when he got up to leave. Instead of someone saying follow him, someone should have put their hands on his shoulders and held him down and said sit here and just have a verbal argument is good for a press conference.
Oh, that was a great conference without the fight. It was a great conference without the fight. It was brilliant.
It actually went beyond it went beyond the boundaries, I believe. But, you know, what? On hindsight, you know, and I'm from the old school. There's no such thing as bad publicity. Everyone was talking about boxing.
Yeah.
The old girl on my road who's 90 was mentioned talking about boxing. I flew up to Scotland the next day. Everyone on the plane was talking about it. You know, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was staggering and it was stunning. But you know, most of it was bad, but the good bits were coming through. Frank, let me ask you this: sometime soon the board are going to sit down with Chisora, and then when David Hay, and if David Hay applies for a licence, no doubt they'll have to sit down with him. Now, bear in mind the amount of British heavyweights in the last 15 years who have thrown punches at conferences or on television or weigh-ins and who didn't get bans, they got fines or their knuckles wrapped. What do you think the board will do? And also, do you think the board will be sort of forced to do something rather draconian because of all of the very bad publicity, Frank?
Yeah, I think the board will have to act out of the unusual on this one. When you say, but you know, you're talking about probably Herbie Hyde's been involved in a couple of press. But that's
Lennox a couple, Herbie a couple,
throwing a quick punch. It was, you know, over instantly. I mean, it was quickly brought under control.
Yeah.
We're
By
talking
security.
About a guy picking up a tripod. We're talking about a guy throwing a punch with a bottle in his hand.
Yeah.
We're talking about a guy threatening to want to shoot somebody.
But we're also talking about two guys going at it without any security. Those incidents we mentioned would have gone on longer if there hadn't been adequate security. They'd have jumped all over their heads.
So, you know, everyone's got to be taken into account. I actually think the people who organise a press conference should be taken into account. Because if you have a right at a football match, though the football club's not responsible for the fans fighting each other or what they do, the football club are held responsible. So the promoters should be held a little bit responsible as well and should be brought up before. Well, it's a German promoter, so probably nothing will happen to him. The board have no jurisdiction over him. But I do think the organisers of the event should be held accountable for the lack of security there as well. Yeah. I think you'll see Chisora get probably a hefty fine and a 2-year ban.
Do you really? I think.
Yeah, I don't think they can ban. I mean, I was one of the first to say they should be banned for life. But then when you sit back and you think,
wow,
why did you say that? Because you can't ban someone from life because that's because you have the Human Rights Act now. But his livelihood.
But Chisora possibly never threw a punch. He took two. One was an elbow, one was a right hand.
You know what? It just shows you David Hay can't punch as hard as people think, because, you know, he had a clear shot and he had a bottle and he couldn't even knock out Chisora.
Yeah. Listen, Frank, it's a pleasure talking to you.
Okay.
So May the 19th, Frank.
May the 19th.
Somewhere nice. Sexton against David Price.
March the 3rd sees Tom Dallas back in the ring with Matt Skelton.
Oh, big Tom. Well, I'll tell you what, can I get one of them on the show next week?
Definitely, if you phone me, we'll set it up.
It's always a pleasure. Frank Maloney there.
Nice, Frank.
Cheers,
Nice, all the best to you, mate.